All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I'm Is There No One Else? And in today's video, we are going to read the studio director's letter from Matt Firor. I guess I've been saying it wrong after doing some research. And yeah, he did an update on 2022 and what's to come in 2023, and we will get into it. But I wanted to preface this video by talking about the history of where ESO has been and kind of where they've been going. And so I started looking up previous posts because I've been posting a lot of updates. Like when I get them, I post them on my channel. And so I have some stuff, and I found some stuff further back. So I found this article from Messi here saying, respect to Matt Firor for wanting to fix Cyrodiil. Been critical of the game lately, but only because I enjoy playing it and wanting to see it get better, which has been my stance all along. Anyway, I thought it was very commendable that Matt Firor in his road ahead outlined a plan to improve game performance in Cyrodiil. Performance issues hinder players' enjoyment of PvP, and it discourages other players from joining PvP. So good work, ZOS team, and keep striving for excellence. Polish the game, make it better, and it will live long. Really nice, until you realize this came out in 2016. And so that was, 6 years ago. And then we have a letter from Matt Firor here in 2017. And so he kind of goes into detail about what happened in 2017, Homestead, introduction to chapters, new content cadence, Morrowind's is ESO's next chapter, and then Battlegrounds and Cyrodiil. And I wanted to read this for you guys. We are very excited to offer new PvP possibilities with the introduction of 4v4v4 small-scale Battlegrounds in Morrowind. However, just because we're introducing Battlegrounds with Morrowind doesn't mean we're walking away from Cyrodiil. We consider open-world PvP to be separate from small-scale PvP, and we want to be sure that we offer and fully support both. As for Cyrodiil, we know that performance, both server and client, is often not up to par. This is back in 2017. To put it mildly, these problems particularly plague champion-ranked campaigns, and coupled with some of the balance issues and bugs that are still present, result in an often frustrating experience for some players. We will be addressing this in 2017.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
From champion system performance to class armor balance to client server performance in large battles. This is a priority for us, but as these issues are extremely complex, we will be rethinking how some of the systems in the game interact with each other. Change of this magnitude cannot happen quickly. We are not taking this lightly. Change needs to happen. We will have lots more information on Cyrodiil balance and fixes shortly, but right now we are focusing on investigating and testing different options. This was a half decade ago. So they were addressing this in 2017, and nothing has happened yet.
So that was a fucking lie.
And then we have the more recent one that Matt Firor posted, and you guys remember this. I'm not going to go into too much detail on this, but this created a lot of backlash this time last year with Rich Lambert's wife and Rich Lambert. And shortly after that, after this entire thing, Matt Firor issued an official statement. And I've already covered this twice. This is the re-architecture post. You guys can, I'll provide a link in the video so you guys can go check this out. But this is back on January 12th, earlier this year. And basically what they're saying is they're going to re-architecture the server, and they're going to be working towards it. And so where was it? They said something. Here it is. So this was posted January 12th, and it says, we've been planning for this last quarter and we're starting to work on it now, but as you can imagine, changing the fundamentals of a huge live game such as ESO is a delicate and multi-step process, so expect this to take up much of 2022. Well, as you guys know, 3 weeks ago, we found out that they will not be starting this re-architecture until 2023. And so what we have here is a history of Matt Firor coming out ahead of negative scrutiny from the community and trying to get out in front of things in order to soften the blow. And so he often promises things historically that have not ever been met. And I'm not saying this as a negative person. I'm not coming from this from a negative perspective. That's why I'm showing you guys the dates and the details of all this so you guys can see. They were working on PvP in 2016. They were working on PvP in 2017. In 2019, they had their roadmap for 2020 for the year of performance, and the year of performance got delayed into 2021. And then they had this re-architecture that's going to take up much of 2022, but now it won't get started until the beginning of 2023, and it'll probably take up much of 2023. So everything either doesn't happen or it gets delayed. So that leads us to the director's letter. All right. Read a letter from ZeniMax Online Studios director Matt Firor discussing another big year for the Elder Scrolls Online and its future. As we approach the end of 2022, it's once again time to share some thoughts on where ESO is and to look ahead at what is in store for the game in the new year. In 2023, ESO will see an amazing chapter, as well as some long requested changes to the types of content that we will deliver, based largely on community feedback. Good on you. Good on you. But before we get into the details, 2022 is ending as we wind down the legacy of the Breton storyline. We were very happy to welcome the millions of new ESO players who joined over the course of 2022, which featured 2 new localizations, Spanish and Simplified Chinese. We returned to live in-person events with another amazing and fun ESO Tavern in Germany this August. It was a great year, and even better in that we got to start traveling again and seeing you all in person. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the issues with Update 36, which launched just this last November. It introduced far too many bugs and issues, and even as I write this, we are still chasing down issues with blocking and combat. Trust me, I am just as concerned about this as all you are, and we will be making some process changes within the dev team to ensure that things like this happen far more rarely. Once again, showing you guys the history of these promises. You have to take it with a grain of salt. With an aging code base, which is 26 million lines of code, really, it is difficult to be 100% efficient, but we can be far, far better, and we know it. I think we all agree with this. Like, this is the worst update that they've ever come out with. They've definitely had bugs in the past, but they've never been this bad. They've never lasted this long, so I think they can be better. It's just not a good sign when it's going the wrong direction, right? Like, this entire year's been going in the wrong direction, so I'm ignoring this elk here, and we're moving on. Looking forward, in general, there are 2 types of content in ESO, handcrafted, such as quests, stories, and things you do one time per character, and systems, which are activities that are generally repeatable, such as PvP dungeons, trials, housing, daily crafting, writs, etc. We've always had a mix of the 2 types of content. Okay. But in terms of dev team hours, the majority of time developing the game has been weighted towards questing content. Yes, thank you. As I mentioned above, the big news for 2023 is that based in significant part on player feedback, they're really doubling down on the player feedback thing, which is good because this is what we want. We are now at the point where we are reassessing the balance of handcrafted one-and-done storytelling content versus repeatable game activities. ESO is a massive game with a huge number of zones, quests, and systems. We have created 40 or so hours of hand-built content every year since 2015, as well as a myriad of dungeons and new systems like One Tamriel, thieving, assassinations, companions, tales of tribute, antiquities, crafting, writs, housing, graphical character customization, solo group arenas, PvP battlegrounds, and much more. Now that we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of questing content, enough for 4 or 5 regular role-playing games, we are hearing from our new players that the sheer number of zones and stories and characters is intimidating.
Bruh.
New players are saying that the amount of stuff is intimidating. And on the other hand, our veteran players consistently tell us that they would like more content that isn't played through just once. They would like more content they can enjoy for years, content that utilizes our already existing zones to add new things to do. And most importantly, introduces some new gameplay. Yeah. Moving forward to 2023. Given the above, 2023 will see us moving away from the year-long adventure, 12-month storylines that we have featured since 2019's Season of the Dragon. I think these have run their course and frees us up to do some new and interesting content that we've been wanting to do for a few years now, and let us return to expansive story arcs that unfold over multiple chapters. This year-long strategy was a huge success and raised the profile of ESO. No, I'm not going to let him have this one. I'm sorry. It has not raised the profile of ESO. The population has gone down since 2018. From this time now to pre-COVID time, the overall population playing this game has gone down. So none of the content that has come out since pre-COVID, or since COVID, has elevated this game. You had the benefit of having people indoors more, playing your game more, and you still couldn't capitalize on it. Sorry, no. This is just a lie. I'm sorry, it's a lie. So, below is the 2023 content cadence. Please note that the first half of the year remains essentially unchanged, but the second half of the year now has an update devoted to addressing issues, quality of life improvements, and an update devoted to a large new tentpole system. Okay. Quarter 1, Dungeon DLC. Quarter 2, full featured chapter in June. The 2023 ESO chapter will be a complete story. You will be able to play all the way through it without a storyline that is broken out and reserved for later in the year. We'll return to larger, better, and more detailed chapters by doing this. We are really excited about next year's chapter. They're really excited about last year's chapter too. For details, you'll have to wait for our global reveal event in January, but one hint, this will be part one of a multi-year story arc and will contain one of the most requested new features. Now, the first thing I thought of with this is spellcrafting. I'm not saying that that's what we're going to get. I have no expectations. Spellcrafting has been something that people have been talking about for a while. New weapon lines, a new class, like a bard class. Like those would be like some of my top ones, I guess. But it doesn't matter if the game doesn't work. If the game doesn't work, it doesn't matter what's coming out. And so, once again, performance and the game actually working will take top priority for me, and I hope it gets fixed. I hope they actually do fix it this time. Quarter 3, focus on quality of life improvements and bug fixes. So quarter 3 is when they're really going hard on quality of life, so a year from now. Quarter 4, rather than the usual zone DLC, will be featuring a new system. We're working on the concept and design for this now. We'll give more details during our global reveal event early next year. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I will hold them to this. Obviously, you guys know I go back and check these things. But yeah, looking back at ESO's evolution since 2014, you can see that we often shake things up, try new things, and make changes as needed. So we will assess how this new cadence is received, both by the development team and in the community. If we have to make more adjustments, we will. Hardware and server updates. We are in the home stretch of upgrading and replacing all ESO data center hardware, which of course has been significantly delayed by the ongoing global shutdown of sourcing computer hardware. Once complete, ESO servers and infrastructure will be much more reliable, and as we saw from one realm that has been upgraded so far, PC North America, there will be some performance improvements as well. Almost all the hardware should be delivered and in place by December, and then we'll need a month or two to install and test everything before we shift over to the new hardware. Please note that we will be prioritizing all 3 realms in the EU data center first, and then we'll return to the NA data center to finish moving Xbox and PlayStation realms there. We are as frustrated as you that this has taken so long, but it is happening and will be done and ready for all players probably late February or March of 2023. Keep in mind how well they've been at meeting their deadlines. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that it won't happen. I'm just saying, just keep in mind that this timeline is fluid. Our multi-threading work continues, as we announced a month or so back. Just to remind everyone, this is the initiative that will result in better overall server performance. As we already announced, we will be phasing these changes in over the course of 2023, starting with the chapter in quarter 2. We'll keep everyone updated in patch notes going forward. All right. ESO fan gatherings. All right, so they're doing more fan gatherings again now that people can meet up. And so that's the end of the post. And so, obviously, I've already kind of stated my point of view. I'm coming from a wait-and-see perspective. I do not expect things to be rolled out on the timeline that they're rolling out on, or at all, or to get fixed properly. Because at this point, they have given no reassurances that they can do those things and get these things rolled out properly. That's just the history of where the game is at. So you guys can label me a hater if you want, but that's just where we're at right now. And so I look at it like this. This is a great thing. And if they deliver on all of this, awesome. It'll make players happy. It'll make players come back. But it's just talk. At this point, it's just talk. Like, I'm at the point where I need to see results. I need to see performance improve, changes improve. And so, yeah, it's fine to hear about, but that's my opinion. I'm not trying to push that off onto you guys. If you guys are excited about this, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think as well, your points of view on this. But yeah, we have players coming in from different times of the year. You know, some of you guys picked up this game last year. Some of you guys picked it up 3 months ago, 4 months ago. You guys don't know the history of where this game is at. So you see this and you're excited. And so I just wanted to kind of show you guys what's been happening and, you know, what these posts often mean and where they often head. So yeah, tempered expectations from my perspective. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.